Dear students, today I will be talking about the muscle involvement, myopathy in the systemic disorders. Now, we all know that there can be both acquired and hereditary disorders, and similarly in systemic disease, a different kind of involvement is there in endocrine disorders, inflammatory disorders, paraneoplastic disorders, infectious disorders, drug and toxin induced myopathies, and critical illness myopathy, metabolic myopathy, myopathy with other systemic disorders. Now, patient with systemic myopathies often they can present with either acutely or subacutely, and on the other hand, the familial myopathies or dystrophies they generally present in a chronic form. That's the usual presentation. Now, with exception of metabolic myopathy where the symptoms can also precipitate acutely. Most of these systemic illnesses which produces myopathy, they can be widely divided into acquired or hereditary disorder, and if we see how to classify them. Now, they can be classified either in endocrinal myopathies. In that, we can have first the thyroid disorders. Now, thyroid disorder, they have there is the thyroid hormone. It stimulates the calorogenesis in muscle, increase muscle demand for vitamins, and enhance muscle sensitivity to circulating catecholamines. Now, what happens in hypothyroidism? There can be frequent muscle complaint in hypothyroidism, and proximal muscle weakness occurs in almost 1/3 of them. Muscle cramps, pain, stiffness are common. Features of slow muscle contraction, relaxation occur in 25% patients, and the relaxation phase of muscle stretch reflexes is characteristically prolonged and observed in ankle or biceps brachii reflexes. Serum CK level is often elevated up to 10 times even when there is minimal clinical evidence of muscle disease. Hoffman syndrome results in prominent muscle enlargement with weakness and muscle stiffness and associated with hypothyroidism. On contrary, in hyperthyroidism, the patients who are thyrotoxic, they commonly have proximal muscle weakness and atrophy on examination, but rarely complain about the deficit. Muscle stretch reflexes usually preserved and often brisk. Bulbar, respiratory, often esophageal muscles may be affected, and it can result in dysphagia, dysphonia, or aspiration. Other neuromuscular disorder may occur in association with hypothyroidism, that is hypokalemic periodic paralysis, myasthenia gravis, or progressive ocular myopathies. Serum CK levels are not elevated in thyrotoxic myopathies, and that is one difference with hypothyroidism. And muscle biopsy often reveals atrophy of muscle fibers, and that was been extensively studied. Hypoparathyroidism, the overt myopathy due to hypocalcemia rarely occurs, and neuromuscular symptoms are usually related to localized or generalized tetany. Serum CK level may be increased secondary to muscle damage from sustained tetany, and hyporeflexia or irreflexia is usually present and contrasts with hyperreflexia in the hyperparathyroidism. In hyperparathyroidism, proximal muscle weakness, muscle wasting, brisk muscle stretch reflexes are present. Serum CK level are usually normal or slightly elevated. Serum calcium, phosphorus levels show no correlation with the clinical neuromuscular manifestation, and muscle biopsy reveals only varying degree of atrophy without muscle fiber degeneration. In adrenal disorder, it can lead to variety of syndromes. In glucocorticoid excess, either endogenous or exogenous, there can be various degrees of proximal muscle weakness, and steroid myopathy is most commonly diagnosed endocrinal muscle disorder. Muscle wasting may be striking, and Cushingoid appearance usually accompanies the clinical signs of myopathy. Muscle biopsy demonstrate muscle type 2 fiber atrophy. Adrenal insufficiency commonly causes muscle fatigue, and degree of weakness may be difficult to assess, but it is typically mild. In primary hyperaldosteronism, that is Conn syndrome, neuromuscular complication with proximal muscle weakness are due to the potassium depletion. Serum CK level may be elevated, and a muscle biopsy may demonstrate degenerating fiber with some vacuoles. These changes relate to hypokalemia and are not a direct effect of aldosterone on the skeletal muscle. Now, two important disorders are still left. One is pituitary disorder. Pituitary in acromegaly patients, there can be mild proximal weakness without any muscle atrophy. Muscle often appear enlarged and exhibit decreased force generation, and the duration of acromegaly rather than the serum growth hormone level correlates with the degree of myopathy. There are treatment options are there for acromegaly, that is surgery, radiotherapy, or somatostatin analogs, dopamine agonist, and growth hormone receptor agonists. In diabetes mellitus, the neuromuscular complications are most often related to neuropathy, cranial peripheral lumbosacral plexus. It is a whole group of disorders are associated, but myopathy of diabetes mellitus is usually ischemic infarction of thigh muscles, and that is present with proximal muscle weakness and painful thigh, and it happens in poorly controlled diabetes and present with abrupt onset pain, tenderness, and edema of one of the thighs. The area of muscle infarction is hard and indurated, and muscle often affect include vastus lateralis, thigh adductors, and biceps femoris. There can also have CT or MRI finding demonstrate the affected muscle focal abnormalities, and is diagnosed by most of clinically and sometime with muscle biopsy. Now, in next class, we will take the another group of disorder with malignancies and the toxic myopathies. Thank you.